Near to Vienna is a place where the sky meets with the earth. For almost 900 years, Stift Klosterneuburg has had a special relationship in the spiritual, sacred, and cultural life of Austria. According to legend, the monastery was created due to an amazing event. It's said that a gust of wind snatched the veil of the bride of the Margrave Leopold III and blew it away. 9 years later, the Margrave found the veil at this location. In order to show his thanks for this divine happening, he had the monastery built here. In reality, historic texts tell us that the development of new monasteries in the Danube area was the work of the Babenberger dynasty. The architecture of the Stift Klosterneuburg dates back to the Baroque era and the rule of Emperor Karl VI. Karl VI had ambitious plans for the monastery. He wished to symbolize the glorious rule of the Habsburger dynasty. However, when the emperor died in 1740, construction of the Austrian Escorial was incomplete. Of Stift Klosterneuburg's original structure, only a few of the foundation walls have survived to the present day. In the 12th century, church architecture was based upon Italian design. At that time, a castle was built here for the sponsor of the monastery, Leopold the Pious. Today, the monastery shines out in renewed splendor and actually looks to be fresh and new. Its renovation took 5 years. Karl VI was unable to see the splendid emperor's staircase. He died unexpectedly on the 20th of October, 1740. In contrast to the Escorial that had an almost menacing atmosphere due to its sparse architecture, its Austrian counterpart was given abundant decoration. The completed sections of the Stift are quite remarkable, such as the ceiling fresco in the marble hall, an impressive example of the great skill of its creators. In addition to its fine sacred architecture, the Stift Klosterneuburg enchants due to its worldly side that can be seen in the emperor's private rooms. The emperor's residential rooms demonstrate the luxurious lifestyle of the Habsburgers, whose influence was at its zenith during the reign of Karl VI. A section of the monastery has been transformed into a museum. Part of the Babenbergers' legacy is exhibited here, and also the dynasty's fascinating family tree. Since the foundation of the monastery, the Canons Regular of St. Augustine became expert and passionate collectors of works of art. The fassel sliding over the huge 1,000-bucket barrel was the traditional highlight of the annual Leopoldi Festival. The 1,000-bucket barrel dates back to 1704 and can take 56,590 litres. The two-storey apartment of Margrave Leopold was gradually integrated into the monastery complex and today contains the Stift Klosterneuburg archive. A small replica is a reminder of the first monastery church, as today nothing remains of the original basilica. The magnificent archive was completed with exhibits of the Romantic epoch that were discovered during excavation. The Gothic cloister is an architectural masterpiece. Indeed, the heraldic emblem of the province of Lower Austria appears to have originated here. As construction of the Baroque complex was halted following the death of Karl VI, some sections of the Gothic buildings have survived. A special eye-catcher is this huge candelabra that once hung in the former church choir of the wonderful Klosterneuburg Basilica. But the monastery's most valuable possession, and also one of the most impressive works of art of the Middle Ages, is the Verdanna Altar, that was named after the artist Nicholas of Verdun and was completed in 1181. After a devastating fire in the Monastery Church in 1330, this masterpiece of religious art was transformed into a winged altar. The sponsor of Klosterneuburg is visible in almost each area of the monastery complex. He has also been immortalized in various magnificent frescoes. The remembrance of pious Leopold was given much priority in the Stift. Since 1663, the Margrave has also been the patron of Austria. Apart from being a place of culture and art, Stift Klosterneuburg is still home to the Canons Regular of St. Augustine. Recently, the monastery church has been renovated. Several impressive wall and ceiling frescoes create a festive atmosphere. The original Romantic design of the church has gradually been taken over by other influences. In the 17th century, the interior of the monastery church reflected the Baroque era. The sacred building also contains an outstanding musical work of art, the world's oldest working Baroque organ. The large quantity of precious works of religious art and fascinating historical objects that date from the Habsburger dynasty underline the feeling that the Stift Klosterneuburg is indeed a place where the sky meets with the earth.